Hi and welcome to another episode of The Cursed Bracelet and Other Short Stories by Sharon Bertolli. I am, as you already know, Sharon Bertolli, and today we are looking at a story that is very, very short called Monte Carlo. Let's get on with it, shall we? And we'll have a chat afterwards. So, Johnny sucked hard on his cigarette as he blew out the smoke with a sigh. How was he going to tell Jasper that he had just blown the entire rent on the blackjack tables again? He was going to be furious with him. If only he wasn't so tempted by the bright lights of the strip. He'd be turning down beds for another month to recoup the money he had just lost. He took another drag on his cigarette and was interrupted in his thoughts by a bloke turning into the alleyway. He was startled. The man was an easy 8 foot tall with pale skin and black hair, skinny, wearing black jeans and a t-shirt. He looked like he'd just stepped out of a horror film, and he was the horror. "Got a light?" he asked politely to Johnny. "Yeah," he said, as he pulled out his lighter from his pocket and handed it to the gentleman. They stood there for a few minutes discussing their losses at the blackjack table. "I swear that fat bastard was cheating," said Johnny. "He emptied out my coins faster than I could purchase them. No one is that lucky." "Yeah, you're right there. This day is day one of my holiday, and I'm now totally skinned." They both sighed heavily as a third man turned into the corner of the alley. The alley was dark and dingy. Very little light fell into it. It was a perfect place for shady deals to go down. It had two big dumpsters up at the end of it. The two dumpsters were end to end with a small gap on either side, so not very wide. The smell of rotting fruit or veg or something coming from the bins from the nearby restaurants was overpowering. Still, it gave privacy, away from unwanted looks, and a great place for a crafty smoke. The bloke who had turned into the alley blocked out the little light that had filtered down it from the street light. It was that bloke who had taken all of Johnny and Joe's money. He eyed them suspiciously, hardly surprising when Johnny was only 4'3" in height and Joe was 8 foot. They must have looked quite odd to the gentleman. The gentleman was called Marco, and he was feeling particularly pleased with himself as he had just cleared out most of the blackjack tables out of coins. He was a large balding man, dark brown beady eyes. He'd seen too many brandies, fried food and cigars, hence why he was breathing heavy. He always did when he had to walk any distance. His suit was dark blue and Italian. It spoke wealth, along with his Rolex watch, gold chain, and a few gold rings on his right hand. He couldn't get any rings on the other. Johnny and Joe were staring at Marco with daggers, as they knew he had all their money. "We could rob him," said John quietly. "No, we'd get caught." They looked for a few more seconds before returning to their previous conversation. It was then that they heard a strange noise coming from Marco, a strange gurgling. They looked at him as he clutched his arm to his chest and fell to the floor. "Shit!" exclaimed Joe. "That's not good. We'd better check and call someone." Joe ran to the body, leaned down and checked for his pulse. Nothing. He was dead. "Well, he's gone." They both stood in silence, thinking what to do. "We should take our money back," piped up Johnny. "It is, after all, ours." "I'm not so sure. What if we get caught?" "You don't even live here, Joe. You live in Luton. You got 2 weeks and you go home, so no one will know." "How can you be so sure?" "Oh, come on. I need rent. You need your spending money back so you can go on your fishing trip. Just get our money and we can go." Johnny reached down towards Marco's pockets and started rifling through them, searching for the telltale wallet, whilst Joe stood there dumbfounded. After a few minutes, Johnny located a rather fat wallet. So there we have it. Who is going to catch them, or are they going to get caught? I mean, that's a question in itself. Only I know the answer. You will if you obviously get the book and read it, which is still currently at the editor's, so it's not been released yet. Hopefully very soon. So it's all go at the moment. I mean, as I said, it is at the editor's. It has to have a recheck. Hopefully she won't find too much wrong with it, and I'll be able to edit quickly and get it out there with any luck. Anyway, this story is, as I said, it's a little bit on the short side, but sometimes short's good. The next story, however, in the saga is quite a good one. I really quite like it. It is a horror, and it's called The Carnival. So that should be quite interesting for you guys, I hope. So yeah, please feel free to leave your comments, and obviously like me, subscribe to me, because that all helps. Comments also help, really help, and no one's actually leaving any. My friends are, they're telling me, which is lovely. But some outside comments would be fabulous, because then I can actually evaluate whether I'm doing anything I should be doing or not doing. You know, it does help me immensely if people would give me some feedback. So please feel free to give me feedback. So that's all I've got. So like, follow, comments. Thank you very much. Bye.